This short video will provide you with an overview of assigning a risk profile to an account. We look at what's changing as we discuss the benefits of risk profiles and then demonstrate the feature on North Online. We show you updates to the Record of Advice input document and finish with key takeaways and support material to help you. From Monday, the 29th of May, when you perform a switch, you'll have the option to assign a risk profile to an account and assess proposed asset allocations against targets for the risk profile. By incorporating risk profile asset allocation data into the switch functionality, it removes the need to obtain and assess proposed asset allocations against risk profile targets outside North Online. It brings together another component of the North Record of Advice input document and will increase efficiency when performing switches and preparing Record of Advices. The risk profile feature will be available on North Online within the investment switch and account summary screens. You can assign a risk profile to an account for the purpose of reviewing current versus proposed and versus target asset allocation. Risk profile data will be supplied by your licensee. It is not mandatory to monitor asset allocation against risk profiles. It's a value add that will add efficiencies to the switch process. It also allows you to proactively monitor client accounts against target asset allocations. So, what's changing? Risk profiles are introduced to investment switch and account summary screens. This will allow you to assign a risk profile to an account for the purpose of reviewing current versus proposed and versus target asset allocation. Once you've assigned a risk profile, you'll be presented with detailed charts, summary, and detailed views of how the transaction aligns to your client's target risk profile. If you've assigned a risk profile, the Record of Advice Word input template will include risk profile asset allocation data. New event alerts will inform you when your client's asset allocation is outside the risk profile's tolerance ranges, such as for accounts with asset allocation outside the range for growth or defensive assets. You will be able to opt in to receive automated alerts on a desired frequency, such as weekly, monthly, or quarterly. It's not mandatory to monitor asset allocation against risk profile. However, it's a value add that you may be able to offer your clients. You will now be able to include a risk profile with constructing and maintaining a client portfolio. When you select a risk profile, you can model against it when performing switches, which allows you to validate that proposed asset allocation aligns to their risk profile. We have made it intuitive to make it easy to identify where the allocations are outside the acceptable range. The risk profile asset allocation data is then included in the Record of Advice input in both the CSV and Word templates, which saves you time and makes it easier to provide advice. We have also introduced new event alerts to inform you when a client's asset allocation is outside the risk profile's tolerance ranges, such as accounts with a current asset allocation outside the range for growth or defensive assets. You will be able to opt in to receive automated alerts on a desired frequency of weekly, monthly, or quarterly. Let's now look at the enhancements on North Online. You can assign the risk profile in two ways, within your client's account summary or within the investment switch screen. The investment switch screen has been enhanced to include the new feature. On the account summary page, the asset allocation menu has been renamed Risk Profiles and Asset Allocation. You can assign the risk profile you want to use. The risk profile banner defaults to Not Selected. You can select the profile you want to use by selecting the Update button. The Profile Owner drop-down list will default to your licensee applicable. Click on the help text which confirms information about the profile owner and risk profile. Select a risk profile by selecting the drop-down menu. Once you choose the risk profile, the conditions of use will be displayed. This includes the date when the data was provided by the licensee and the next review date for the data. Then select Save. If your client's asset allocation is outside the risk profile, a warning message will be displayed confirming that the percentage risk allocation for some or all assets is outside the selected risk profile, and to ensure you comply with your licensee policy prior to proceeding. A table below will then display the target, variance from the target, and the range according to the risk profile. Help text explain how variance is calculated, confirming it's the difference between the percentage of total and the risk profile target. When you hover over the yellow icon, a message is displayed when the allocation is outside the range for the set selected risk profile. The variance alerts are for information purposes only. Important notes are listed below. As we scroll down the page, visual information such as charts show how the current portfolio aligns to risk profile target asset allocation. The same information is found within your Switch Investment screen under the Proposed Investment Holdings and Allocations tab. If the proposed investments fall outside the acceptable asset allocation ranges for the selected risk profile, the switch can still be submitted. You may also elect to proceed with the proposed portfolio, noting that it is your responsibility to make your own inquiries with your licensee to ensure you're providing appropriate and sound financial advice. You can download this information to CSV if desired. On page number 3 of your Switch request, the pre-submit documentation page, you can select the Download ROA data tools, such as downloading to CSV. In the CSV file, proposed asset allocations are listed. This will include the profile target and the variance from the target. When you select the Word ROA input document, the table will be displayed. The variance value compares the proposed figure against the risk profile figure. The variance figure displayed in the table is how much the proposed asset allocation varies from the risk profile benchmark allocation. New event alerts are available to inform you when a client's asset allocation is outside the risk profile's tolerance ranges, such as for accounts with asset allocation outside the target range for growth and defensive of the selected risk profile. You can opt in to receive automated alerts on a desired frequency, such as weekly, monthly, or quarterly. Finally, to summarize key takeaways and support material, Risk Profiles feature will provide you with visual and selectable information such as detailed charts, summary, and detailed views of how the transaction aligns to your client's target risk asset allocations when performing a switch. You can easily identify if the proposed asset allocation is outside the target range set for selected risk profile. You can add risk profile asset allocation data to the ROA input document. It reduces the need to obtain and assess proposed asset allocations against risk profile targets outside North. New automated event alerts that you can opt in to receive and on a desired frequency. Alerts will inform you when your client's asset allocation is outside the risk profile's tolerance ranges. Support material includes an advisor's how-to guide and FAQs for risk profiles on North Online under the Support tab down to training resources. For more information, please contact your BDM.